BMW has just been promoted to the Premier League, if you believe all the press, the adverts and the media hype. They've made their best model yet and reduced the price. They've quietly replaced the old iX xDrive 40 with this, the new xDrive 45. The upgrades they've included are so significant, it makes you wonder, did BMW just make its own expensive models pointless? Well, this is Dave Takes It On. I'm Dave, and in this video I'll expose every new feature and performance boost. This isn't just a minor refresh, it's a strategic move that completely changes the value of the entire iX lineup, and frankly, they aren't shouting about it. We're going to get into the numbers and the features to see if this new, more affordable iX is now the smartest luxury EV you can buy, or is it likely to be just another expensive flop? For the last couple of years, the BMW iX lineup, their flagship SUV range, was pretty straightforward. You had the entry-level xDrive 40, the long-range xDrive 50 and the powerhouse xDrive 60. The xDrive 40 was a great introduction to the iX, but it always seemed like a bit of a compromise. It had a 76.6 kilowatt-hour battery with a real-world range that often struggled to inspire confidence, especially on a motorway in winter. Its official range was up to 247 miles WLTP, but that was a distance unattainable dream. Many struggled to get over 200 in the real world. It did 0 to 62 in 6.1 seconds, which is respectable for a petrol car, but totally outclassed for an EV. It was clear that if you wanted the full iX experience, effortless road trips, stunning performance, you had to pay a whole load more for the xDrive 50 or 60. The xDrive 40 then was more of a sensible choice, your ticket into the BMW club, but it always came with that little voice in the back of your head nagging about, yeah, I get the luxury, incredible build quality, but this is a BMW. I definitely expected a longer range and a faster 0 to 60 time. It was okay, but it wasn't the definitive iX. Then, almost silently, BMW pulled the plug on the xDrive 40 and introduced this. This is the 2025 xDrive 45. And on the surface, it looks nearly identical. Or maybe that's the point. BMW is a stickler for tradition. Their EVs, above all else, must look like BMWs. The controversial grille is still there, the shape is pretty much the same. From a distance, you'd actually be hard-pressed to spot any major differences. But underneath, the changes are so big, they don't just replace the old model, they're trying to challenge the pecking order of the entire iX range. So at first glance then, not much appears to have changed for this midlife update. Yeah, the headlights have been slightly tweaked with new diagonal lighting elements, and the grille gets just a subtle update, but the overall polarising, some say futuristic design is here to stay. It's a car that still turns heads, for better or worse. But it's when you peek at the standard equipment list that the secret starts to unravel. Things that were always optional extras on the old base models are now just included. That's a major break from tradition. Now inside there's a magnificent curved display blending a 12.3-inch driver's screen with a nearly 15-inch central touchscreen. Comes paired with an 18-speaker Harman Kardon surround sound system as standard. That is a premium feature you'd normally have had to tick a box and pay a lot more for. As would heated front seats and a heated steering wheel, now standard, along with a 4-zone climate control. This is a huge change to throw them all in as standard. Big pat on the back to BMW for catching up. Well, the cabin is now described as a futuristic lounge. Materials are a beautiful mix of textures, from the optional matte wood with an illuminated graphics to that unique glass iDrive controller. Well, sense of space is immense thanks to that flat full floor and floating centre console. It's looking just like a proper EV now. What this actually means for you is that the starting point for this xDrive 45 is now significantly higher in terms of luxury specs and included equipment. You're getting a much more well-equipped vehicle right out of the gate without needing to go crazy on that options list. The value has already shifted, And we haven't even gotten to the biggest secret of all. Well, if you're finding this breakdown useful, please hit that subscribe button. We're always digging for the details the manufacturers don't tell you. Your support helps us make more videos just like this one. So are there any disappointments? Well, the new xDrive 45 delivers a much healthier 300 kilowatt into all-wheel drive, which is a massive leap from the 240 kilowatts in the xDrive 40. The 0 to 62 time has dropped by a full second from 6.1 to just 5.1 seconds. And here for me is the first sign it's not quite there. BMW always spoke to me of power, performance, driving thrills. 5.1 seconds in an EV is commonplace at half this price. Yes, it's an effortless instant surge of acceleration, but that too is commonplace. That's what electric does. I agree it's impressively top quality, comfortable, and the suspension of each new iX is carefully tuned to give you a premium ride, to quote the advert. But that too is commonplace. Many EVs at a much lower price, like the Neo ET9, the Xpeng X9, now boast not a fixed tune system, but an infinitely adaptable one, or even air suspension that allows ride height adjustment. These all react to whatever the road throws at them in real time, potholes and all. Yeah, the BMW handles well, even on the big 21, 22-inch wheels, but don't you expect exactly that at this sort of price point? But BMW has saved their best feature for last. The range is now quoted at an average 339 WLTP, and that should give you a real-world range of approaching 300 miles on a single charge. But hold on, before I say any more about range, and I will, all they seem to have done is to whack up the size of the battery from 71 kilowatt hour usable to 94.8 kilowatt hours. That takes its range up from something above 200 mile to nearly 300 mile, but at the expense for the overall weight. It's now a very, very heavy beast. Let that sink in for a moment. This is admittedly a staggering increase for the so-called entry-level model, and the impact on range is exactly what you'd expect. The official WLTP range has leapt from an average 248 to an incredible 339. That's over 91 miles of extra range, but it can all, every single mile, be attributed to just this extra battery capacity. There appears to be absolutely no increase in efficiency at all. While other similar sized vehicles are regularly exceeding 4 miles per kilowatt hour, some nearing 5, the xDrive 45 it's quoted at 3 to 3.4. To top it all, you then have a massive battery that charges flat out at just 175 kilowatts. Slight improvement to the old 148 kilowatts. Now, I'd love to see that charging at home on your 7 kilowatt home charger within your 6 or 7 hours of off-peak rate if you just completed a really long journey and the battery's low. Oh, plus, of course, this is still a 400-volt architecture when all around and now at 800 volts, some even above it. Well, for tech, this is a huge disappointment. For performance, this is a massive disappointment. For the price of $78,000, this is, in my opinion, a phenomenal disappointment. This, to me, is just a glammed up same old, same old. This is the upgrade BMW isn't shouting about because there's so little to shout about. They rely totally on their buyers always wanting to buy the same thing, and they keep making exactly the same thing, just a little bit newer, few tweaks, few more bells and whistles. So this brings us back to the big question. Does the new massively improved xDrive 45 make the leap into the Premier League? Sorry, nowhere near. I remember when BMWs were the racing machines, right from the early 2002 Ti through the 3-litre CSI, crazy fast for its time, and they still are to this day, but only in their petrol versions. It is what BMW is. You can today buy a brand new 6-cylinder petrol M440i xDrive Coupe, far cheaper and a tad faster, or go the whole hog and get the M4 Competition Coupe for not a lot more. I'm afraid to say, but in my mind, this xDrive 45 will not convince many, if any, BMW drivers or fans to just switch to electric. And so to answer the original question, nice car, very nice car, superb build, quality, drives beautifully, but seriously let down by the tech, the performance, and ultimately the price. It is way overpriced. Will it sell? Yes, of course. BMW buyers are nothing if not loyal to the core. Is this the big breakthrough BMW needs to survive in an EV world? No, it is not. Imagine for a minute pulling up a set of traffic lights alongside a £45,000 Tesla Model 3 long range or a £36,000 MG4 X-Power, and both of them leaving you in your 78,000 X45 standing. I would not be happy. And while many viewers will always comment, yeah, performance is not everything, I ask, then what are you hoping to get from buying a BMW if it's not performance? Surely if you wanted luxury, you'd just go to Mercedes or Lexus. And if you think you should go the whole hog and get the xDrive 60 at more than £93,000, realise that all they've done on that one is just stuff in an even bigger battery to get the 393-mile WLTP, or about 325 miles in the real world. And that one charges at no more than 195 kilowatts. And the 0 to 60 time will still get you nowhere near the MG4 X-Power. I'm Dave.